What is good, everybody? Mike Pendleton here, Mike EP. As you all probably better know me as, breaking down all the action in Week 7 in the NFL, and we can waste no time. Right now, we just had going final. The Arizona Cardinals will fall to the Green Bay Packers by a final score of 27-23 in the New York Giants and Denver Broncos game. We will see if the Giants did indeed score. Jackson Dart at the goal line. A lot of action right now. A lot of moving parts. So we're going to react in real time. Then we'll recap. Raphael, our numbers guy, will be here to join me in just a little bit. So I am very, very excited to have you all here tonight. But first, we've got to wait on the call with the Giants and Broncos game. What a wild game that's been. And then we are going to see what happens in this Cowboys game. That game is all but over as well. So a lot of stuff happening as we begin. And if you watch the morning show, you know what? Not a bad day. Not a bad day. We'll recap all the picks later on. Right now, we have to, as I continue to say, react in real time to the action on the field. Jackson Dart celebrating. He thinks he has a touchdown. We will find out if he indeed does. So, again, I am Mike Pendleton. If you are joining us for the first time, go ahead and like the video on your way in. Go ahead and subscribe if you are not a premium member. All that you can do for the Coaching Company brand, we truly do appreciate it. Remember, we've got Coaching Company every single morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, on Stadium and on our YouTube page right here. Kevin Walsey says, yes, it is over in the Cowboys game and the over hit. So Walsey's here. Our chat queen Kimberly is here. Everybody's here. I believe the call on the field is a touchdown for the Giants. The extra point is good. So it looks like, and I can't wait. I'm going to wait on this one right now, but I can't wait because I truly do think Sean Payton just cost his team again. We'll see how this one plays out. But yes, the Cowboys game is all but over as well. I believe there's 2 minutes left to go. Hey, Walsey, I don't want to call your boys out, but if we could just get 6 more yards from Dak Prescott. Walsey, as I'm saying that, thank you so much. 5 Coaching Company memberships, flexing and stepping. You got one. Bobo, you got one. Joseph Myers, you got one. Lined Rowe got one. And Yosef has got one as well. So thank you very much to Walsey, one of our great, great premium members. You're all great. We really do appreciate you bringing in more premium members. This is how it all works. We gather all together as a community. This is how we get it done. So we are going to wait and see how things unfold here. Got a little bit of a skirmish. We'll go through the early games in the NFL, including the early morning beatdown in London as the Rams knocked off the Jaguars. What a one-sided affair that game was. And if you see me looking off, I'm just simply watching. Simply looking to see what we got going on here. I believe, so we're going to watch the Cowboys kneel it out. So the Cowboys game is over. RJ, we will talk about Mike McDaniel in just a few moments. So the Cowboys will knock off the Commanders. The Broncos will need a little Bo Nix magic if they want to win this game. So much early action. So before we get into it all, we are going to wait and see what the Broncos do. They just need a field goal, and they just got a massive completion. No timeouts. They are across the 50-yard line. So, again, real time. I'm Mike Pendleton. I appreciate every single one of you for joining us. And while we can't officially sit here and do play-by-play, now there's a flag on the field. We will bring you real-time updates as it happens. If you have joined us from the morning show into tonight's show, Let us know if you had any picks that hit. Let us know how your day went in the chat. And I say us because we're all in this together. We all do this together. It's not just me. It's not just me and Rafi. It's not just Rafi, the coach, and myself and producer man. It's all of us. One tight knit community. So we will see how this goes. 1st and 5. So the penalty was on the Giants. We are looking at just across I believe it's the 43-yard line of New York. Denver's got the ball. What a game this was. As we get near the end here, the Giants were up 19-0. Broncos storm back. Giants get a huge drive to take the lead, and now the Broncos have a chance to win. So, we have 18 seconds left. I'm going to go ahead and address this question from RJ in the chat. Does Mike McDaniel make it to next weekend? I don't know if Mike McDaniel makes it to tomorrow. I think if you are looking for a coaching job in the state of Florida, send in your application tonight. Florida let their head coach go. Florida State let their head coach go. The Miami Dolphins should let their head coach go. Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins getting embarrassed by the Browns 31-6. Just an awful, awful performance. It's, absolutely terrible. The Dolphins have been a joke all year. You can't blame the Tyreek Hill injury on anyone. It's the NFL. This happens. So the Broncos now have a chance to win the game. Huge play to get them inside field goal range. We're going to watch it all together, and we will see right now what happens if the Broncos will win a close game and if the Giants will suffer another heartbreaker. If you're the Giants and if you're Brian Daboll, you want to talk about a guy who may or may not have job security. I don't know. I understand he's got a youth movement there in New York, but you were up 19-0, you lose. You were up in New Orleans, you lose. You're up 19-0, and it's a 39-yard attempt by the Broncos, and it's good. It is good. No flags on the play. Game over. Broncos win. The Denver Broncos knock off the New York Giants. I think we got to have a conversation there. It was Bo Nix to Cortland Sutton for a 22-yard gain that put the Broncos in favorable field goal range. So there we have it. All games are final, I believe. Yes, all games are final ahead of Sunday Night Football, and we are going to get into it. Raphael will be joining us. He's our numbers guy. We'll talk about some of the biggest lines, some of the biggest plays. Yeah, and as Walsey says, poor Tommy C. Get him off the edge. I think Tommy C's got a lot to be happy about, though. If you're a New York Giants fan, you've got Jackson Dart, you've got Cam Scatterboo. This comes down to a conversation about, is it the head coaching? Is it a bunch of bad luck? Is it the growing pains for having a young quarterback? We'll see as time goes on. It may be a little bit premature to think Brian Daboll will get fired, but at some point, he's going to have to win these games and not fall in the end. Because, again, you can't lose to the Saints with 5 consecutive turnovers. You can't blow a 19-point lead. Good teams would absolutely fire their head coach. Absolutely. If you were a team coming in with playoff ass, if this was the Washington Commanders or the Dallas Cowboys or obviously the Philadelphia Eagles, they would all fire their head coach. So how much leash does Brian Daboll have? That's the question I think we need to ask ourselves. But let's get to the early action here. As I mentioned, in London, no Puka Nacua for Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. No problem. As Matthew Stafford throws for 5 touchdowns. Count them. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 touchdowns today. So big day for Matthew Stafford. And then we have Devontae Adams, the all-pro wide receiver. He is a 3-touchdown maker on the game. So a lot happening there in Los Angeles. And if you guys bear with me, if you see me looking off to the side, I'm just trying to bring the man in. Give me a moment. You know what? Hell with it. We're going with him. There he is. Raphael, how are you, sir?
I am doing well. Sorry for a little bit of lateness, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta work. Gotta get that paid. Gotta get that green.
Yeah, you do got to get that green. Hey, we had a lot of green. I don't have the graphic done because the games were finishing up as we were going. Raphael, I'm not here to brag, but your boy went 3-1. Dak Prescott he cost me an undefeated day by 6 yards. It's okay. We'll forgive Dak, but good evening to you, sir. What's your biggest takeaway so far in the NFL today?
I'm 2-0 right now. That's my biggest takeaway. I had Washington Dallas over the total at 54, closed at 55.5, which I knew it would. And I had Bo Nix over 21 passing completions. Big comeback win for Denver. I thought that's got to be a devastating loss for the Giants. You pretty much were winning the whole game, and then you lose by an ex Saints, ex partner in crime with Sean Payton kicks a field goal, Lutz, to win that game at home. So that's gonna be a big knife in the back for the New York Giants fans. But I thought overall, congratulations on your Bears. Boy, they look like Super Bowl defense. First quarter, second quarter, the last play of the game or before halftime, kind of like, oh, maybe the Saints are gonna play. In the third quarter, I'm like, oh man, what the heck? I have 4.5. I took it twice, but then the Bears defense showed up. So I was there. I was impressed. Me and you discuss this all the time. Playing teams on short rest who come back on Monday nights, playing on Sunday. You don't know what kind of team you're going to get. They got the fail Mary taste out of their mouth. How are they going to react knowing that they're playing the worst team in football? Are they going to be prepared for the worst team in football? It's not like they're playing the Lions, the Vikings, or the Packers, something in the division. Let's face it, they knew they were playing Rattler and the Saints. So I have to give a tip of my hat, not because you're a Bears fan and stuff like that, but I have to give you a tip of the hat on how they took care of business when they should have taken care of business.
Yeah, and for me, if we're just going to look at the Bears game very quickly, not a great performance if I'm being completely unbiased. Caleb Williams did not look good. And this is where, as a Bears fan, this is where you have to I'm going to put my foot down and I'm going to say this. When you're looking at this team, you always want to look at, do you have one side of the offense or do you have both sides of the offense? Right now, it's continuously one-sided offensive showings, and it's frustrating. Couldn't get a running game going for the first 4 weeks. Come back, and now they have a struggling passing game over the last couple of weeks. Caleb Williams did not play well, but hey, I got to tip my cap, a little coach tip of the cap to defensive coordinator Dennis Allen. That defense goes off with 4 takeaways. They lead the NFL in takeaways. And Rafi, how about this? I got to give a little shine. Not to me, not to you, not to coach, not to producer, man, to nobody but Bears defensive passing game coordinator Al Harris, former Packer. He said it pregame to ESPN Chicago. He said defense is getting 4 takeaways. Called his shot. And the Bears defense came up with those 4 takeaways. Other action around the NFL. We'll start with the early games. Here's the big one. It's the one that a lot of people are talking about. You actually texted our group chat about it. What are you hearing, or if you are hearing anything about the job status of Mike McDaniel of the Miami Dolphins?
If you want to be a head coach for football in the state of Florida, now is the time to put your application. Florida State, open. Florida, open. I'm here in Miami, going to be open pretty soon. So it's a great time to be a football coach. Drive your car to Florida because you have a really good shot at getting a job at those 3 schools. I just don't see them. I know it was a bad weather game, and everyone knows Miami does not play well in bad weather games. I get that, but man, they just looked really, really bad. They look like they're playing with no heart anymore. So you have to do something different.
I think when it comes down to it, not only when you lose 31-6 to the Browns, like you said, Raf, but when there's no heart, there's no show, you're not getting behind each other. 2 things can really cost a coach who's likable his job. And it's not just bad performances. It's fans stop showing up and the team quits on one another. If one of those two things happen, you're likely out of a job, no matter how charismatic you are, no matter how good you may have been. When your team quits on itself, when the fans stop showing up and the fans are calling for your head, I believe, Mike McDaniel, I'm right there with you. If you're a football coach in the state of Florida, get those applications ready, whether you want to go college or go pro. Let's continue on. Patriots and Titans. Speaking of head coaches, Mike Vrabel back in Tennessee, but the guy who took his job, Brian Callahan, no longer there because he was fired earlier this week. Drake May and the Patriots, they go in and handle business. Did you know, Ralph, in this game, Drake May set a Patriots franchise record with completion percentage, beating out some guy named Tom Brady. What a game for Drake May. Do the Patriots have their long-term answer at quarterback?
Yes, yes. As long as they can stay healthy. I mean, the offensive line keeps him protective. I know May's putting up big numbers, and you can say the same thing of Jones. Yes, he's putting up big numbers, but why? The highest paid player on an NFL team should not be the quarterback. It should be someone on the offensive line because those guys are the reason why these guys have protection, time to look at one, two, three, four, five options before they throw the ball. So if those two quarterbacks stay healthy, it's because of their offensive line. Can you believe you could have got 1 point and this New England was a minus 5.5 point favorite? Everyone was betting Tennessee in this game.
Yeah, that was the one thing that surprised me. We talked about this morning on our pregame show was all this money coming in on Tennessee. It's almost like people didn't realize that the Patriots had all the momentum coming into this one.
But
Go ahead.
Tennessee had the lead at 1 point in the first half. I mean, they were hanging around, and then the wheels fell off, and it was over really quickly.
Yeah, early 10-3 lead in the first quarter for the Titans, and then the Patriots took over 28 points combined in the second and third quarter, and that would be all they needed. Speaking of all they needed, you know what? He's not here, so I don't think I'll get in trouble for it, Rafi. Let's move on to the next game from this early afternoon. Let's talk about coaches. Kansas City Chiefs just absolutely running all over the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, we could sit here. We could talk about they did what we expected them to do. They beat a very bad Raiders team. Rashid Rice got in the end zone. Who would have thunk that? But I'm going to start this conversation with two questions. Number one, is Geno Smith the starting quarterback for the Raiders next week? And is Pete Carroll going to last the entirety of this season?
I would say no to your first answer and yes to your second answer. I mean, who? I mean, unless Tom Brady, which I know he respects the head coach and stuff like that, I just don't see that happening. Now, Geno Smith, what was he, 10 for 15, 18? I don't have the stats in front of me. He was awful. I didn't even think he had 100 yards today. I mean, that's just plain all awful. And Raiders, what are you doing? There's quarterbacks that want to play that don't want to be a second string or third string on their team right now, aka Russell Wilson, aka Sanders, aka famous Jameis, aka there's a whole bunch of AKAs out there that the Raiders picked up a phone call. You could probably get a fifth, sixth rounder that would be anything better than what Geno's doing right now.
Yeah, Geno Smith, 10 of 16, 67
Yeah,
yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. And when you see that, you almost want to say, wow, the defense of the Chiefs must have played amazing. They must have sacked them 25 times. One time.
one sack. Yeah, I saw
One
that
sack.
earlier.
This is embarrassing. They give Ashton Genty 6 carries, 21 yards. I mean, the Chiefs, this is why coming into week 7, myself and so many others, the coach said, watch out. Because this was the kind of get right game that the Chiefs needed. They have the big win over the Lions. Now they have an even bigger get right game with Rashid Rice. And things are starting to click for the Kansas City Chiefs. And the AFC West a little more open than it was in the first few weeks. All right, continuing on with our early
Their
slate.
next two road games, I'm not putting this Raider game as, oh, they're back. No, their next two road games, not the next game, but their two road games coming up is Bills. And I want to, is it Bills? I can't think of the other one. I know Buffalo's the next road game. I'm trying to think. Broncos. They play the Broncos. Bills and Broncos, back-to-back road games. If they win those two games plus the junkie game with Washington, to who knows what Daniels is going to be like in that one. If they can win 2 out of 3 out of those matchups, then I'm going to tip my hat up and say they're back. Watch out for them. But I ain't telling watch out for them after you play the Raiders. Give me a break.
I'm not saying beating the Raiders makes them a Super Bowl contender. This just puts them into a rhythm so they can find their flow going into that game against Buffalo and Denver in back-to-back weeks before that they will take on the Commanders. All right, couple other games, early action, very quickly. Don't even really need to talk about it. The Panthers 13, the Jets 6. I mean, what did you expect? I mean, honestly, what did you expect? The only big note here is Bryce Young gets injured in this game, and Justin Fields was benched in this game. So you actually were given a treat of Andy Dalton versus Tyrod Taylor in this game. If you were washing your car or buying groceries, totally understand during this one. Raf, you got anything on this game?
Yeah. Yes, not on this game, but in general, we talk about parity. There is parity, but then there isn't. There's good teams that can win the ship, and there's good teams that probably can't win in the AFL. And there's a lot of teams right now that can't win in the AFL. So I don't want to. Yes, I know there's probably 4 or 5 teams that could probably win the Super Bowl. I get that. Normally, there's only 1 or 2 or 3 teams at this time on October 19th or Week 7 going on Week 8. I get that. But I think as the weeks go on, there's more bad teams I'm seeing playing on the field than there is Super Bowl hopefuls, and that was wide open today.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Let's talk about a Super Bowl hopeful. By the way, if you guys are joining us, I'm Mike Pendleton. He is our numbers guy, Raphael. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. That's copyright infringement. If you guys, please, if you're in the chat, continue to converse with one another. You go ahead and like that video. Super stickers, become a premium member, all of that. We just had our great premium member, Walsey, gifted out 5 memberships
Cool.
today. So, yes, a big Raphael clap to
Thanks,
Walsey.
Walsey.
Always appreciate the support and welcome to those new members. As we look forward now, the Eagles back on track, question mark, 22 over the Minnesota Vikings. They end their 2-game skid, and what a day. What a day. I thought hell froze over. A.J. Brown finds the end zone twice. Devonta Smith, leading receiver. Jalen Hurts actually threw the ball. Still don't know what's going on with Saquon Barkley, but he did touch the ball 18 times. Are you impressed with what the Eagles did today?
I'm going to say yes because you did it on the road. I think that's probably impressed me the most. Granted, they're playing a Minnesota team that me and you can probably play quarterback that can be more functional than we've seen from them lately. But if you're looking at for the Eagles and you're looking at, you mentioned earlier, momentum. If you're the Eagles, that's what you got right now. Big road win brings you momentum. Barkley touched the ball 18 times. They threw the ball. A.J. Brown got to eat. Smith got to eat. So I think that brings momentum into your next game. I think that's what the Eagles wanted. They just needed some type of positive momentum, and that's what they got today.
That is absolutely what they got today. I'm right there with you. On the morning show, I said fade everything on the Eagles until they proved it to us. Unfortunately, if you listen to me, you probably missed out on some A.J. Brown money. I did say to play Devonta Smith. He did have a great game. 9 catches, over 100 yards, and a touchdown. So, Devonta Smith did deliver. I would still hesitate on A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley. Raphael, before we move to the late afternoon games, what say you on A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley? Is this a one-off, or do you start to believe in them a little bit more?
I would say believe in him anymore. This is a big week. I would say big 2 weeks for some names that have been floating around trade rumors. Brown is one of them. I think momentum is going to maybe backpedal on those Brown rumors. You got a big win. The division's still kind of yours. Giants lost today to Cowboys. Their defense still bad. Let's face it, and stuff like that. So if it's a big win, why would you want to change any kind of momentum on it? So I think that's a big 2 weeks for the Eagles. But I like what they did today with both of them. But before we go to the next question, uh, first 47 just popped up on tonight's game and stuff like that. I think Big Chuck has the over in this game. I think from this morning's game, I think he released 46. Most books have 46.5. I think we're going to see more 47s pop up in the next 10, 15 minutes. So I would say hurry up and grab that over. I also like the over in that game.
We will talk on the Sunday night game. We'll try to throw out a couple official plays here. Walsey not very happy with you, Rafi, saying, stop it.
Well, see, a good win for the Cowboys is always a good win for a division win, but you got to admit that defense is still not so. I feel bad for Dak Prescott. He's putting, if they had just a mediocre defense, we'd be talking MVP words coming out of Dak Prescott. But I think when people talk about Dallas, they say Dak Prescott first, how bad their defense is second.
This is very true. Another question I want to get to from the chat from RJ. I know you're down there in the dirty. Is Olave still trade bait after his big day over or against the Chicago Bears today? He had 2 touchdowns. He had 98 yards and 5 receptions. Is he still a guy that teams may be calling on?
Yes, I think everyone on that roster is trade bait, including. I know everyone's saying Kamara's doesn't want to go anywhere. He says it multiple times, but I think if they give a good offer, they're going to ask, "Hey, you know what? I know you want to stay here another, but can we help us out? We got this great offer for you next year. If you got to release another, we'll bring you back, and you can finish your career right here." I think everybody that puts on a Saints jersey, Raiders jersey, and stuff like that. I think everyone's open for trades. Jets jersey.
Yeah. Well, someone who's probably not for trade is Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts. 6 straight for Indiana Jones and the Colts. They go into Los Angeles and defeat the Chargers. Huge game, 38-24. Jonathan Taylor has not 1, not 2, but you counted them, 3 touchdowns on the day. Listen, we talked about Dak Prescott. I think now we truly do have to have conversations about Daniel Jones in the MVP conversation. Everybody knows I'm already high on Baker Mayfield. Shocked by the Colts' performance today, Rafi?
Yes. Yeah, even though the Chargers are all banged up, we discussed that earlier this morning, that how banged up they are, especially in the offensive line. They can't run the ball because of their injuries. But going to another place, granted, SoFi Stadium is not home field advantage for any of the California teams, who most of the visitors come rule in that place. But really impressed. Now, the reason why I had a meeting today with a whole bunch of other odds makers and stuff like that, and we were discussing MVPs today before it all broke down to Otani. But we were discussing, we all agree this big win, 31-0 for KC, actually kind of hurts Patrick Mahomes' MVP numbers or tickets written or however you want to look at it. Because Indiana Jones going on a road, big win in the Chargers. That's a big victory. What if Baker does something on the road? Big victory. Indiana Jones, you already mentioned, he could be getting some numbers now. So I actually think it kind of hurts Patrick Mahomes for playing the Raiders at home than other teams that stood out at today. A perfect example, the Colts.
Yeah, what a huge game. And no matter what, and I'm gonna keep shouting them out. Shout out to Walsey, the resident Indiana chapter of Coach and Company. He says go Colts as well. The Hoosiers, number 2 in the nation. So good times there in Indianapolis. But if Daniel Jones is not the MVP, then you're really going to have to argue with me, yell at me that Jonathan Taylor is not the offensive player of the year. I mean, it's just that simple. There is
It
no
is,
Saquon.
but
Go ahead.
I'll play devil's advocate. There's a guy in Tampa that's had multiple receivers not been playing, and a guy named Bucky that has not been playing, that's won some big games. So I 100% agree with you, but I think Baker probably says, "Hey, Indiana Jones, hold my trophy, hold my beer."
Yeah, I'm giving MVP to Baker Mayfield. I'm giving offensive player of the year to Jonathan Taylor right now in week 7. As we, look ahead to Sunday Night Football, I think Jonathan Taylor is the most dynamic weapon in the NFL this year. Baker Mayfield, I can't believe we're having a conversation of Baker Mayfield and Daniel Jones as the top two candidates in the MVP race, but that is simply what it is. Patrick Mahomes not far behind, and I'd like to say this man and his team should be in that conversation. That's Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb returns. He has a 74-yard touchdown catch. Rafi, you touched on it a little bit. Jaden Daniels leaves this game with a hamstring injury. I think we've seen it. The Commanders can win, but they do not play well without Jaden Daniels, and many teams don't. But if he is hurt for any period of time, we've seen it with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. If Daniels is out, this could be the beginning of the end to the season for Washington.
Every time he gets hurt and I see him limp off or stuff like that, RG3's name just a vision comes in my head. But this Washington team has a capable backup that knows the system. It's been around in the league, and Marcus Mariota. So I'll give him a little bit more positivity going to run this team and maybe win a game where everyone thought maybe they can't. But if they're looking to win a division, make a long playoff run with Marcus, it's not going to happen. You need Jay and Daniels, but they can still hang around the yes or no to make the playoffs with him, but not in there for long.
Well, let's keep it moving here because we want to get some best bets locked in before Sunday night kicks off. Giants Broncos, as you were coming on air, we all watched it because that's what Coach and Company is here for. We all watched it. I thought Sean Payton cost his team another game. I really do. I really do. I was going to come here, Robbie. I had the sledgehammer. I was ready to bury Sean Payton. And somehow I know you are a Bo-liever. Bo Nix got the job done. I was speaking on it a little bit. I'm going to turn the floor over to you with Brian Daboll. I said if this was the Eagles, the Cowboys, or the Commanders, Brian Daboll probably is fired by now. He's lost multiple games with a double-digit lead. But does having Jackson Dart and having Cam Scatterbo, does that give him a little bit of job security to say, all right, these are growing pains. We got a youth movement here in New York?
It's funny, we were discussing this earlier in a meeting that I was in. If Dart continues to play well, win games when he shouldn't win games, and Scatterable wins, helps him be his Robin and win games that they shouldn't, does their voice mean anything if they want to keep this head coach? I think he's going to stay for the whole season. They're not firing him now. Uh, they could have fired him earlier, but if they want him to stay, is their voice big enough to keep him for another season? Because don't forget, everybody in that coaching staff is a free agent or could be gone after the season. So it's going to be very interesting if Dart continues to ball out and Scatterwood continues to ball out and they win games. Does their voice says, hey, we go into management next year and say, hey, you know what? We want him as our head coach. We want this as our head coach or offensive coordinator. We want him. We want him. It's going to be very interesting to see what the New York Giants do. Because let's face it, I didn't think Dart would be this good. I think he would have growing pains. He still has some growing pains, but boy, he's fun to watch. And you can tell the players around him said, hey, you know what? We have something here.
Rafi, I don't have any fun noises for this one, but I'm going to throw it out there because I want the chat to chime in as well. I'm going to start some chaos. I'm going to start a conspiracy theory. We know Call of Duty is coming out. It's right around the corner in November. And I understand that the Arizona Cardinals lost, but Jacoby Brissett, no interceptions, 2 touchdowns today. The Cardinals lose to the Green Bay Packers 27-23. But Raphael, he's got 4 touchdowns and 1 interception on the season. Do the Cardinals possibly have a quarterback controversy with Kyler Murray and Jacoby Brissett?
Well, see, that's a great question. I'm going to say no. They're paying Mini-Me all that money to be the head coach or to be the head quarterback over at Arizona. I'm going to say no. Granted, Beckham played pretty well today. I think his leash is now shorter. Now, if he has a rough first half, I think it might be a little bit shorter.
The Packers were driven by Josh Jacobs, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 55 yards. Jordan Love, 179 through the air and 1 touchdown. He spread the ball around a lot, which is something I like to see. I'm going to throw up for complimenting the Packers. But 6 catches for Romeo Doubs, 5 catches for Tucker Kraft, and Matthew Golden really came alive, the rookie first rounder. He had 4 catches today. And Trey McBride. Now, Ravi, I got to ask you, without getting too deep on Trey McBride, when you see a guy who comes in. He had 10 catches today. Whether it be he had 37 catches coming into this season. Whether it's a favoritism thing for Jacoby Brissett, or I know he is very, very good, is Trey McBride one of the very few guys who, when I looked on Prize Picks this afternoon, his line was set at 6.5. Is that too high to look at a player prop for receptions for a guy like Trey McBride who gets so much usage in that Cardinals offense?
Yes and no. It doesn't matter who's behind center. You know that's going to be their favorite target. You know he's going to give you everything he's got. You know he's going to give you those receptions. So I'm not want to say favoritism. I think every quarterback, backup or no backup, knows okay. My comfort blanket is on the right hand side, or is a second option. I think that's what they look at. So no, it's not a big number now. Or look at the juice. If you're 6.5 and the juice is still in the minus 120s and stuff like that, then no, don't play that number because why would you do 6.5 of a minus? I would say definitely either minus 110 or lower on that one. But I just think every quarterback has that comfort blanket, even if it's quarterback one or quarterback two.
All right. We never like to go longer than 30, 45 minutes on these shows, especially. So we're going to go ahead and look at the Falcons and Niners kicking off in just moments. If you're a baseball fan, game 6 in the ALCS just underway in Toronto. But Rafi, Falcons minus 115 on the money line. They're on the road against the San Francisco 49ers. Sunday Night Football. I know you have a play on Christian McCaffrey from the morning show. Do you like anything more in this game tonight?
I like that Falcons team total over 23.5. I think it's going to be a high scoring game on this one. That's why numbers have moved to 47. There's a couple of shops now that have 47. When you jumped on, it was 46.5. When I jumped on, the first 47 popped up. So I kind of like the over in this one. I think CMC has a nice game. But I also think Michael Penix, if I like the team total over 23.5, that means I'm telling you that Michael Penix is also going to have a big game throwing the ball. I think his number is 219 and a half, 220 and a half, around there. So I would probably look at his over in passing yards.
Right now on BetMGM, Michael Penix, 219.5 at a minus 145. A little juicy. A lot of juicy, actually.
Move it to 220, or I'm sure 220's out there probably at minus 120 or minus 115.
Now, I'll ask you this. Do you like Michael Penix over 1.5 touchdowns at a plus 115?
Not really, because they got some guy named Robinson on that team as well that might be hand the ball off and he does something explosion, something like that. So probably I wouldn't risk it. No.
One thing I'm very interested in this game, I don't know how often we've seen this, and I just looked it up. You want to talk about juicy. How about Christian McCaffrey and the aforementioned Bijan Robinson? Listen to these per BetMGM. Bijan Robinson, rushing and receiving yards, 118.5. Christian McCaffrey, 112.5. Both at a minus 155. How can you play these two guys right now?
And this morning when we were on with the coach, the number was 110.5 for CMC. So that just tells you it's the last game on the betting board right now. You have one hockey game. The baseball game has already started. So you know what the people are doing? Either they won all day or they lost all day. Either they're chasing or they have extra money to spend and they're betting everything that they know that they can get on CMC, Robinson, Michael Penix, over in the game, under in the game. They're just betting because it's the last game on the betting board today.
Well, Raf, I'm going to go ahead and share some, at least one play we have from the chat. If you have any more before we get out of here, that way we get in so you guys can get your plays in before or as we get off the air. I'm going to go ahead and give out 2 plays here. Give me the Falcons on the first half money line at a minus 125. And then, I'm looking. I'm trying to see how I want to be. I don't want to just follow everything you do, Raf, but I'm going to look at this full game, and I think I'm going to ride with Big Chuck. If it's at 47, give me the over in this game. Actually, BetMGM now has it at 46.5 at a minus 110. So give me the first half money line on the Falcons, and then give me the 46.5 over as well. What do you like?
I like it. I like those plays. I think another easy winners for you today, since you see a cash of tickets left and right today. So I think your momentum continues.
It would be nice. A good question here from RJ. What about George Kittle coming back? Do you like anything for him tonight?
I usually don't like to play anyone who's coming off an injury in any sport, not just in football like that, because I want to see are they 100%, are they 80%, are they normally people want to target them or they could be decoys out there as well. So I try not to go with anything unless the number's completely off, which Kittle's numbers weren't completely off. So I stayed away from them.
All right, last thing here. Let's get Nonsense McGee's Sunday night special. Bijan and McCaffrey anytime touchdowns. Mac Jones 250 passing yards, and Michael Penix 200 passing yards all together. It's a plus 400. Now, Ralph, I know how you feel about same game parlays, but I don't hate this play.
Uh, I don't. I think one of those quarterbacks could be down and or could be up, and don't see them throwing. But I don't like the Mac Jones at 250 plus. If one of them's stuck out at me, it was that one.
All right, well, Nonsense, I like it. So go ahead and run that Nonsense play of the night. Raphael, any final takes from what we've seen today in the NFL?
Hoping for a good game. We've seen good games today, and we saw ugly games today. And I'm hoping for a good game today. It should be a fun one. I mean, Atlanta looked good. San Francisco's getting healthy with Kittle coming back. Mac Jones gets comfortable week after week with the system. So I think we're going to see a good game.
I am right there with you. And listen, what a day, right? I don't want to sit here and gloat. I don't want to sit here and gloat and say I went 3-1 in my picks. I did go 3-1 in my picks. I don't want to sit here and say the Bears won 4 straight, but the Bears have won 4 straight. I am loving NFL Sunday football at this stage of the season on October 19th. We'll see how I'm feeling November 19th before Raphael for our entire chat. Not just us, Rafi. This show is not made without the chat. Chat Queen Kimberly. We've got Walsey. We've got Nonsense. We've got RJ. We've got 5 new premium members. Do you want to win? We have premium pop-up shows coming all this week. Don't forget, entire week is busy on both channels for the brand. You're going to have Coach and Bro twice this week. We've got the Monday Night Grind with Rafi, myself, Coach, and Big Tommy C. And then every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, on Stadium, on our YouTube channel, you have Coach and Company. So, for Raphael, I am Mike Pendleton. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We will see you tomorrow morning right here on Coach and Company.